Blessings, brothers and sisters. I begin this chat with you by expressing heartfelt thanks to our government processes, the wisdom and prudence that have certainly opened doors for us to move forward in relation to COVID-19. And an incredible sense of gratitude for the people of our diocese, your patience and your wisdom and your faithfulness to the church in so many ways. God bless you for that. At this time, I am going to walk you through the diocesan processes concerning alert level stage 3 and 2 as to what you might expect and what some of the parameters around moving forward may look like. This document is also, that I'm reading from, is also available online. So as we prepare to possibly gather for worship in our diocese in what remains of the summer in 2020 and in the fall, I'm reminded, I'm writing this early June 2020. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador have just announced that we have entered alert level 3. And they provided, as always, the legal and advisory parameters for that level. So what I want to do now, of course, is to focus on our own diocese, how we will be able to operate within government parameters and what changes, if any, we might be able to make. So let's look at level 3 and the church. Really, the guidelines for level 3 don't offer a whole lot of new things for us as a church. Nothing significant in relation to worship or pastoral practices. So the clergy will continue to minister to people one-on-one as they have need, and contact me, the bishop, if there's any particular concerns that have to be addressed so that we can provide the best pastoral care for everybody. The direct quote from the government website around level 3 is that in relation to public spaces and gatherings, and that's us, gatherings at funerals, burials, and weddings are expanded to 20 people as long as physical distancing can be maintained. Wakes remain prohibited. So here is the bishop's directive for level 3. My direction to our diocese remains basically unchanged for level 3. In all cases, we will follow the guidelines provided by the government explicitly. We can now make accommodation for the increased number of people at weddings and funerals. Wakes are still prohibited. And our clergy are to speak with me regarding any challenging situations or requests. As I said, it's our intent to provide the best pastoral care we can. The Holy Eucharist fasting continues. We remain in a prayerful focus on the sacramental aspect of the proclamation of the Word, and we do that through whatever virtual media is accessible and effective for each congregation and parish. So let's now look at level 2. As we consider what level 2 might mean for churches in our diocese, the key phrase used at present time by the government includes this clause, to be determined. That means we have no way of knowing what government permissions we might receive. There is also much certainty around travel and other global interactions before a vaccine is found for COVID-19. So it's important for us to accept at this point any planning or framework we might propose for reopening and re-engaging traditional practices of pastoral care that require physical proximity are purely speculation. Well, here's a direct quote from the government website. Public spaces and gatherings. Expansion on size of gatherings is to be determined. Places of worship are permitted to resume operations with restrictions. We have no idea what those restrictions are going to look like. So here is my directive for level 2. 2 sections. First of all, we need to look at the realities we are facing. Bigger picture. There's much diversity in the church nationally regarding church gatherings of any sort. That includes discussions and episcopal permissions around the Holy Eucharist. The Canadian House of Bishops will be holding discussions during June month so that we can share our experiences, our discernment, and take counsel. So that process will be of much help to us in our own diocese after it's had time to take place. Within our own diocese, there's been a good unity, I think, in relation to our practices of outreach, pastoral care, communication, and worship. I'm really looking forward to hearing stories of grace as time unfolds and we're able to come together and share. Now, our clergy will need time to evaluate their own personal wellness, to be able to schedule holiday time if they desire to do that. And our clergy will need time to evaluate what resources or new training they may need in moving forward as their ministries continue as ordained pastors and administrators. Moving into new levels in our diocese must be done with unity, unified practices, and we must do it with regular clergy consultation. Our clergy, your clergy, will need time to begin a whole new process of leadership networking, meetings, and discerning what their particular parish may need in relation to mission and sustainability. There are questions that will be asked that we have no idea of what they are yet. That's why we are in prayer. That is why we are taking our time to prepare for the future. Parishes will need to develop pastoral plans that can be shared clearly and concisely with the people. The bishop needs to provide guidelines that will enable diocesan unity. Such guidelines are not to accommodate every single diversity, but to create diocesan unity. And that means that some of us are going to have to exercise restraint in relation to moving forward. Some of us are chafing at the bit. Others will have to push or challenge themselves to move out of their comfort zone. It promises to be an exciting time. Section 2. The Bishop's Directive for Level 2. As we approach Alert Level 2, we will continue our direct contact with various government offices as we have been doing. Any changes or new permissions will be shared immediately with the clergy. Regular consultations and updates will continue from Synod Office, And it will be expected that these regular consultations, these regular bits of information, these regular directives from the bishop will be shared by our clergy effectively and immediately with our people. Because of the correlation, the connection between everything that I've just described, these uncertainties, and the certainty that we know we need time to plan, we need time to communicate, we need time to preserve our unity, we need time to pray, and we do need time to implement new practices. My direction is that we will not open our churches for public worship beyond funerals and weddings and the things that we have been doing before Sunday, September 7th, 2020. That will be the case even if the government implements stage 2 at an earlier time. As I said, protocols for weddings and funerals will remain in place until that time, Sunday, September 7, 2020. But of course, they will be able to accommodate larger numbers if the government gives us permission to do so. Following the implementation of Alert Level 2, some parishes may be more logistically, emotionally, and geographically prepared than others to re-implement worship. But because of our desire for unity, because we know how important that is for the church, individual considerations regarding earlier openings will not take place until after September 7th, 2020. Conversations with me, of course, can take place, but we are going to do this together. I encourage you to read the current government rules regarding each alert stage and regularly visit the government website to get information that may help you. Do not hesitate, please, to call our office at any time with any concerns. Again, thank you for all you do. May God's peace be upon you, upon our diocese, and may our hearts be filled with wisdom and blessing. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.